Tommy Urich. Carl Veart joins us right now, Adelaide United coach. Carl, your reasons behind that particular tweak for your side?
A little bit of tactical, and also, Lloyd being on a yellow card and not sure what's going to happen with some of the decisions that have been made.
You're getting that feeling, Carl, that the experienced players for Western United might start needling to try and restore a bit of parity?
Yeah, most definitely. I think, it's a shame for both groups of players and the supporters here that, it could have been a great game tonight. And it's, it's always disappointing when a team goes down to 10 men. And I just don't think there was anything in any of the yellow cards, to be honest.
Fair enough. Just then tactically, finally, for your side, with Cassini out there, is that a little indicator that the crossing needs to be of a high value for you guys? Because you can have two big boys in the middle there.
Yeah, most definitely. I think we need to stretch them and get balls in the box.
Carl, appreciate your time. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, the Adelaide United coach. Probably agreeing with what Mark Ruden's thinking to himself at the moment, that wasn't a red card for Victor Sanchez.
Well, it wasn't a second yellow worthy, and I think that's the general consensus. It was, but I think Carl, when he has a look at Sanchez's first yellow card, I think he'll realise that that was dead set due and payable.
No chances. Louis Dorigo, as mentioned earlier in the call, he fell into that trap earlier this season, unfortunately getting a second yellow with his second foul in a game against Western Sydney Wanderers, and off he went. So Carl Veart one step ahead in that regard this evening. It's a rare time that both Yengi and also Urich have been out there together this season. Usually it's been one or the other, one replacing the other, in a way of Tommy being injured or Cassini being injured. Here's Halloran trying to get on the outside. Wales, Urich, top of the box. Halloran, his ball. Urich, little flick on. Cavallo out of his range immediately. Yengi's first touch is a header that floats over.
A difficult one to really do anything meaningful with. And Josh Cavallo has had a few moments around the edge of the penalty area. And as Western United won't need being told, he has got a really sweet left foot, and it's not going to be long, I don't think, before he starts feeling the confidence within range to start shooting. I reckon he's a great option. And once he feels confident enough, no reason for him not to do that now, but you sometimes need to take a bit of time as a player to settle in, take that responsibility.
Words from Carl Veart still ringing my ears about his displeasure, despite the fact he has definitely profited from the decisions of Chris Peace.
Well, except that, maybe he's nervous that his players are better playing with the tension of expecting an onslaught from your opponents. Maybe he was just being very congenial.
Strain. Up Halloran. They do have players to hit you on the break, namely this guy, if he can release some of his quicker players. Brisha's hemmed in on this left-hand side on halfway as he gets the ball back. Lockie Wales and Boreas are the two for Western United. Two with Jets on their heels that are going to have to do a stack of running in this second half. Western United are going to hit Adelaide between the eyes on the break. 6 clean sheets so far this season for Western United. It's the most in the league. They can defend when required. Do a lot of it in the second half. Halloran cuts across that. Went to Urich in the end. He was asking for a handball. Redan saying before this game that given the travels that they're on, it's Brisbane away, Western Sydney Wanderers away, Perth away. They're doing it in one big round trip on a Kentucky tour. Well, I reckon they've set up camp for the night at the Vidmar end of Cooper Stadium for the next 45 minutes at the very least. Yengi off the dummy from Mork, which went through another set of legs with white socks. Western United one day winning it back. Barisha caught with it. Goodwin. This cross for Yengi. Actually, Halloran in the way is Durante, and that was important intervention.
Really important. previous attack, Andrew Durante went to ground and dispossessed Yankee as well. So important from the captain. Really vital that he stuck his leg in there. Ryan Scott tidying up.
To Wales. Strain, he can take him on here because no one has come over to support Ryan Strain, who defends it really well. Halloran. Moore continues his forward run. There's a channel opening up for Yankee, but his touch lets him down. So does Diamantes. That's unusual. To cleanse the palate, Alessandro. Five minutes in. A little taste for Robbie Cornthwaite of what we're about to see. Adelaide United in comfortable possession for the majority. How do they pick them apart?
Yeah, I think Tommy Urich hit the nail on the head in his after the first half. His comments there, they've got to try to keep the ball moving quickly and try to move Western United around. I think it actually works a little bit against Adelaide United because they like to keep pace in the game, and we saw a few minutes ago when Halloran won the ball on this right-hand side from that after that attack from Lachie Wales, and they're the moments where they've got to utilise that space and really try to go quickly. Carl Viet and Ross Aloisi were sort of up and about, telling Tommy Urich to make forward runs. He was dropping off, trying to get the ball to feet. So those are the moments where they need to try to push on, and when they do pin Western United back into their 18-yard box, Jordan Elsey or Timotheo or one of the fullbacks really needs to step into midfield and pick up Besart Berisha or Diamante, so that when Western United do win the ball back or clear it, they can straight away win the ball again, Adelaide.
Goodwin to Halloran. Lovely ball. Mork, good first touch. Second hit the side netting, and he can't believe it.
Glaring miss from Mork. Just keep your eye on Andrew Durante again. The Western United skipper as Mork skips through. It's Durante who reacts. Is that enough to put Mork off? Because that was a brilliant chance to take the lead. And to the extent that Durante's intervention was really off-putting, congratulations to the Western skipper as well. Hasn't he had to do some cleaning up early in this second half?
Mork, equal top goal scorer for Adelaide United this season. Diamante flies in, blocks the ball, but illegally, according to Beef. 7 goals so far this campaign for Stephen Mork. He's taken up the role vacated by Riley McGree from last season. Goal-scoring midfielder, late runs into the box. Is that what is going to break apart this deeply set defensive line of Western United? Runs from deep. Here's Halloran. They've got 4 men on that last line, Adelaide United. Do they need them, Harps? Do they need to draw a couple out and then these late runs, midfielders get time on the ball? Elsey. Timotheo. There's one side in the A-League to pick to say, yeah, you're confident with 10 men that they can get in this deep set and defend it well. Western United are at the top or near the top of the conversation in terms of organisation, discipline.
And they've had practice recently, so you don't wish for it, have to enact your contingencies, but when the finals come and if Western can continue their general trajectory and get into the playoffs when it is sudden death, and they've had these runs at working on consolidating your defence and killing off a game or choking a game as best you can because you've gone a man down, and you've got to look at the positive side of it, the positive outcome. I mean, that's for another day for them. They've got to get through this one first, but they're looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
That man's important as well. Tommy Hiscock, a number of times he breaks up play. Those big long limbs of his. He's done so well to get another crack at it A-League level. Oscillating between NPL and A-League level for a few years now, but really at home in this kid. Try and play out here in a tight area. Western United have on the full press with 10. Rocky Wales herring after Joe Gauci, but they get out the other side through strain. And now the retreat is on. Yengi to Elsie. Strain. Just keeps it in. One more revolution of the ball and it was gone. Here's Halloran.
Slightly better from Adelaide, but still not quick enough. He'd be a coach. I mean, he'll get through this one if he can, Mark Rudin.
It was... Talk about a guy playing for the national team. It really backs you up.
And be relieved. But Mark Rudin will be putting a lot of emotion, there'll be a lot of stress and anxiety. And part of it is easy to say you should just let it go because you can't change it, but it's the natural human reaction to still be seething about the perceived injustice or inaccuracy in the officiating. And that little miscontrol, lapse in concentration from Ben Halloran, they're the signs. They're the signs of these little bits of corrosion that set in when you're off your normal game as an attacking unit because you're not under pressure yourselves defensively. You haven't got that, here we go again, you haven't got that counter-attack space to go to in quick transition.
Brendan Hamill, experienced defender, coming on. Back from suspension after he felt he was served an injustice down in Tasmania. Besart Barisha, he won't add to his total of 21 goals. Anyone lip read, I'd love to know what he's telling Chris Beath here. The dead stare. Ben Halloran. That's as dangerous as walking across the road with your eyes shut. Going up and telling Besart Barisha, who's just been substituted when perhaps he didn't want to be, to hurry up. Perhaps Graham wants to save Besart's legs for the forthcoming battles, and Brendan Hamill is into the fray. Robbie Cornthwaite, just on Adelaide, do they need a spark? Do they need someone to just do something that re-energises those in red? They feel like they're waiting for something to happen.
Right on cue, Cassini Yengi's gone dancing through the midfield and then slips over. I know Harps loves it when players slip over. I know he said Amy Park was the premium pitch and premium stadium in Australia last night, but from where I'm sitting here at Cooper's, it's looking pretty nice.
Yeah, mate, there's a little bit of state rivalry coming out right there.
It's the old Victoria v South. We'll get more than 2 dressing rooms down there and you can enter the conversation. It's not your fault, of course, Robbie.
The redevelopment's coming. In saying the spark, Brian Kiddo's just made his way onto the ground. I think it might be Josh Cavallo who's gone off on the far side, so maybe not the change that's going to inject a spark into the game, but with that change, Diamante coming off, it looks as though Barisha coming off, Diamante is going to play a bit more of a false 9, maybe drop off that front line, and then you got, again, that speed in Lockie Wales and Dylan Piraeus who can make those runs from outside to win. So Adelaide have been in a couple of positions this season where you expect them to go on and win, like we do here tonight against Western Sydney as well. Even though they had 10 men, they were all over the Wanderers, and this is a bit of a dangerous half an hour or so now for the Reds.
Strain. Strain, and Wales keeps it in, doesn't give away the corner. Right down the line one day, literally down the line. Elsie out the other side to Timoteo, and Goodwin. Kitto runs forward. Yengi just over the top. He hung in the air for as long as he could, the young man. Halloran, Strain. This is promising. One day with the forward run that time. Good defending from Hamill, the fresh man for Western United.
I think it's a great substitution from Margaret, and I love that if I'm going to interpret the change even close to accurately, there was a decent chance there, just couldn't get up. Yengi to meet the cross. So to leave Diamante as the free player, to the extent he can have one, he'll just drift and try and pick up some crumbs and hold the ball. But with his vision and passing range, if there's any transition opportunities, then to hit Parias and Lockie Wales in a slingshot type move could yield a result for Western. Brendan Hamill comes into the midfield to just provide a little bit more defensive grist for the mill. There's Diamante there. He'll be the furthest advance. Won't mean he won't drop back and add to the compact defending, but he'll be the most furthest advance. And as Western United can try, they'll get the ball to him. He can diffuse, pick a pass, thread a counter-attack move, and two real speeds to chase down his passes.
Tommy Urich has got one to the mouth, inadvertent. To him, I think it was, when that cross was making its way into the box. A few headaches for the Adelaide coach at the moment. What do we do? What do we do, says Carl. It was Aaron Calver, actually. Both men watching the ball, but when does Al Hassan Toure come on? He's perhaps suited to just in behind the strikers, like this.
They need a line breaker, and they've got to break the line either with a pass and go, 1-2, or run off the ball, or they need someone who, with the ball at feet, will break the line. And either of the Toures, but we've seen Al Hassan most recently. And we just saw a little snippet from Yengi. Here's the play now. It's up the field, but Diamante further forward, feeding Wales, and Parias is the other player further forward. That's how Western United will win this game if they're able to. It'll come through a combination, or part combination of those three.
Pass from Wales, too hot for even Diamante to handle. Urich. Kitto and Goodwin. There's the ball over to Urich, but good goalkeeping from Scott. Tension about Adelaide United at the moment. You get to the end of this game with this score as it stands, and Western United walk away a lot happier than you usually would after a point. And it'd be considered a night of regret for Adelaide United, having played so long against 10 men.
Well, the win, as you said at the top of the telecast, Adam, takes them to clear second space. Same games as Sydney. 2 points clear of Sydney.
Mork. Show and go. Yengi. Oh, good save from Scott. Better than good. Outstanding.
Really good work. Sharp. Good turn, too. Let's give credit there. We don't see, unfortunately, with the youngsters coming through, a lot of this shield turn shot. And it can catch people by surprise, but Yengi's done. That's squeezing in. That's great work from Cassini Yengi. Even better from the keeper, Ryan Scott.
You can see why he's keeping a goalkeeper of the year in the A-League. Philippe Curto on the pine at the moment. Ryan Scott has come up with a number of such saves. Goodwin's cross. Imai's header. And as far as Elsie, Wande. Strain centrally. Goodwin. It's a 2-on-1 there with Halloran. If they can find Halloran. They do now, but Payne comes across. Mork flips it over. Scott just about does enough.
Fortunate in the end. But he was positive to the ball and the fortune favoured him. And he called that move as it was developing on the right-hand side, and your instinct, I believe, was right, Adam. Just that slight delay from Craig Goodwin to play the instinct, play automatically. You see the run, you pass to the run. But you get into this situation sometimes with the team that's got 11 versus 10. And it can be a tendency not just to slow things down, but to try and overthink things.
Gruden screaming at Dylan Reyes to get as wide as possible when in possession. Now he'll have to come across and tuck in and be part of this disciplined defensive unit that we've seen so far. The first 20 minutes of this second half, Robbie Cornthwaite, they know their cues defensively. And take us through the central defenders while Andrew Durante, watching him, he's always got his arm outstretched, he's looking either side, making sure the line's set. There's a lot of communication coming from the back.
Yeah, there always is. I'll just let this play develop. There always is, whether you're up against 10 men or not. Cry for a penalty there from the crowd. I'll just let this play continue, Adam.
We'll go with Kiddo onto his left corner.
Yeah, basically their role is going to be to control that line. You want to try to not get too deep and push the team up at every opportunity, but at the same time, you don't want to leave space in behind. Just before you came to me, Carl Viet was up and basically saying far too many balls to feet. I need you to start making runs in behind. And you mentioned what kind of spark. The Toure brothers have only ever played once together here at Highmarsh at the same time, so I'm sure that will give the crowd a lift.
Oh yeah, Goodwin's cross from the corner. There's too much on it. Halloran has to chase it down, back to Strain. Halloran, first time ball, Scott's there again. Playing a cool customer out there. Thanks, cool guys. A few little taps to the face of position players in control. Emotionally, they're in control at the moment, Western United. Not feeling like it's them against the world. Given the decision that post-game analysis they'll still feel aggrieved about, but Halloran all of a sudden has a lot of space here on the right-hand side. It's a dangerous ploy if they allow that as this game continues. Kiddo. One day. Goodwin. Elsie's cross. Urich looking for it. And was tangled up with him, and Scott in the meantime came out and had one crack on the second chance. He got it.
Well, Tommy's starting to keep count. There we go. Of the number of times he thinks he's being held back, and a bit of a case there.
I did spot him after the Wellington game having a long discussion with referees boss Strebre Delovsky about he feels the treatment he's copped at games this year. I can only imagine it was about that. I do know that Adelaide United are a bit miffed about some of the decisions that haven't gone his way so far this season. Offside. Oh, happy with that. It's offside for the team. China, here's Durante. To Payne. Wales is fouled. Sucking the life out of the game at the moment, Western United, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean that in a professional, proper way about getting something out of this game, and they're doing it very, very well. Looking at the substitutes list at the moment, Andy Harper.
Yeah, I'm just...
What are you thinking?
Well, the Toure brothers are the ones who immediately come to mind for Adelaide. If you're Mark Rudin, you're pretty comfortable with the way your team is dealing with this. They've been excellent.
Oh, dangerous. Nearly fell for Calver. A little bit of indecision there from the men at the back for Adelaide.
And really strange that Joe Gauchi even hesitated slightly, because you've got a bit of space and broken field to work in. From a set piece, you wouldn't be taking any time before you get your attack going. And now, because contributing factor, that delay was slightly released, the Western United defence is amassed again.
Here we are again. There's pattern in this second half. Adelaide United moving the ball from side to side. Kiddo's ball is bouncing, delivering for Urich in the way of Scott again. Western United players throwing themselves at the ball, and they get away with it at the back. That was a dangerous, dangerous ball from Kiddo. So does that lift Adelaide? Not at the moment. Tamaki Imai looks like has stayed down at the back there.
Well, it's a great chance for Adelaide. It's a wonderful ball in from Ryan Kiddo. Fast, slow, hard, really difficult to deal with. Durante overbalanced. It just didn't quite settle for anybody.
Doesn't want the attention of the physio. There they are. Al Hassan on the left, Mohammed on the right. Mohammed, the last time he played was as a 16-year-old, did the hammy against Newcastle. Now he's back as a 17-year-old.
Tamaki Imai a little bit sore after this. So there he is. He's seen Cassini Yengi away. The ball comes back square. Juric is in. He does go for the ball, wins it strongly. It just didn't fall for Adelaide. And Western United have earned that favour because of their diligence and focus.
You've got some good defenders in the A-League, but if you had someone that was assigned the task of stopping someone one-on-one with a lot on the line, Tamaki Imai would be near the top of the list in terms of trying to stop that one-on-one opportunity. And now, again, Western United take their time. Robbie Cornthwaite did notice, and it hasn't happened too much, that the ball has gone left of screen towards the Red Army end here. That tonight, how can I miss that? Eugene Galekovic, that great moment from a few years ago.
Yeah, that's massive. But that's actually a sponsor, Australian Outdoor Living, one of the major sponsors here at the club, has actually taken the seats out in that corner, and they're going to be putting a big deck in there for fans to win the right to go and watch next week's game next Friday against Wellington up on the deck there. So it's not quite finished, and the club asked the Red Army, hey, what's the biggest tifo you've got? And just happened to be Eugene Galekovic. I spoke to him before, and he said he doesn't think it's big enough. So, but it's doing the job. Toure brothers are about to come on, so expect the roof to come off the stadium.
Yeah, here we go. Mohamed Toure, the 17. Al Hassan Toure, the 35. Tommy Juric, one of the players to make way. And that, of course, is Eugene Galekovic holding up the championship that they won 5 years ago. The last time they won 7 in a row, or 7 at home, I should say, in a campaign, was that season, and that's what's on the line tonight. Perhaps it's one of these two boys to get the job done. Craig Goodwin, actually, comes off. So Mohamed Toure, Al Hassan Toure, Cassini Yengi. One of those three could be the hero for Adelaide United to go second on the A-League ladder.
Well, already there's applause for the Adelaide players making their eye up, but already the electricity's amping up just by those substitutions. Such exciting prospects, and we can expect something to happen from this point.
Here's Mohammed. Little glance off his brother. Strain. Can't fight a way through. Look how compact Western United are defensively. Elsie's cross skids off the sole of Andrew Durante's boot. Calvi had said it before the game. He said they're a difficult side to beat, Western United. So it is proving again. Strain launches one out to Al Hassan. Kiddo. Hamill meets it. Diamati, the right boot, looking for Reyes, can't find him. That's the play that they've got by design at the moment, Western United, if they are to get something out of this game. Halloran. Strain. Should be Scott's. He's, in the end, Yankee threw himself at it.
Just hasn't been completely clean with his hands in the second half, Ryan Scott. He's still attacking the ball and doing so with confidence, which is terrific, but he's just spilt a couple. The note there to Adelaide is perhaps tonight don't think anything's a lost cause, because there could be a deflection or a spillage. Could be there to clean up for your team.
Hamill wins the throw. Should make mention as well, Western United, the auction closes on May 5. They're auctioning off, got there in the end, playing kits of all the players. Go and bid online. Just hit the link in the bio of Western United's social media pages. And they're raising money for the Victoria Food Bank, which so that's wonderful stuff from Western United. May 5 is when that auction closes. So bid on your favourite player if you're a Western fan. Here's Halloran going forward.
Really excellent defending. They looked at Strain and Ben Halloran looked to work some sort of combination. The backfield was a great idea. It just didn't quite come off and hit crisply enough. But still, the focus from the Western players has been excellent. Defensively, excellent.
Hassan Toure looking to flip it on to a teammate. You've got 4 Adelaide United players ending up within a 3-metre perimeter at the top of the Adelaide United box. Halloran trying to link up with Strain. Can't quite get on the same page. Halloran skidding for the ball like he was going into home plate there and got it back. Kiddo. Foul off the ball that Chris Beath has spotted from Mohamed Toure on Aaron Calver.
I'll just jump in there, Adam. I think Adelaide United are just being far too passive with the ball. I mean, it is great defending from Western United, but when Ben Halloran gets in that wide position, he's just too comfortable to come back inside and let numbers get behind the ball. Try to go around the outside of him. You might win a free kick. You get yourself in the box, ask a question of the defender if he wants to make a tackle, win a corner. I mean, at the moment, as soon as the Western United players get goal side, Adelaide's just too comfortable turning out all the time.
Calvert's got all the patience of a man who needs to be at a barbecue in 10 minutes and can't stop getting red lights. Patience is wearing thin, isn't it, Robbie? They'll do anything they can, Western United, to take seconds off the clock. Strain. The paddock to run into. Gate shut by Uzcock. Out to Halloran. And Santure comes short. Defending from Lockie Wales. Battling away. Now he can go. Overrunning it is Hamill. Often he's the man on the last line for Western United. There's a bit of space now all of a sudden. Halloran, his ball, Durante, right spot again. It wasn't up to standard from Halloran though, the cross. Diamante, past Elsie. Surely advantage. Oh, it's a lovely ball. Parias, all of a sudden, a chance for Western United. Massive chance. Off the line, no. Goal. Incredible from Western United, down to 10 men. They've barely been over halfway, but they've got the lead. Extraordinary stuff from the away side.
Extraordinary, except that Mark Rudan saw it. He envisaged it. We've just reported it. Diamante to play forward. Lockie Wales, number 8. Dylan Parias. They're the 2 outlets in counter-attack. That's what's going to win it if they've got a chance, Western United. And Adelaide have fallen asleep at the wheel. Diamante could have tried to milk a free kick and get some sympathy points, but he'd already taken the picture at him. He knew there were 2 defenders with space versus 1 Parias, and he backed Dylan with speed to get into that space. It's a wonderful tactical sucker punch. Superb setup from Western United. Diamante on the ball to make space and find either Lockie Wales or Dylan Parias. Bingo.
Checking for offside. Diamante saying he's too fast. He's too fast. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That blue line, which indicates the last line for Adelaide United, is it just my eyes or is it not in the right spot? should it be about 2 millimetres, which could prove all the difference left? It's the technology, it's the calibration, it's all of the things we talk about all of the time. But this is not going to be pleasing news for Western United.
It's a farce. Sorry, it's a farce. And it's not the officials' fault. But this is a farce. Because until you can guarantee complete accuracy, you have no right as lawmakers, IFAB, to insist on these millimetre decisions one way or the other. No right. And they can't guarantee accuracy to that degree. I'm sorry.
Adelaide, a reprieve. Like you would not believe. Mark Redan is going off his brain still.
Well, we've still got 10 minutes to enjoy because that does nothing except turn the temperature up. It's a huge warning for Adelaide. They shouldn't have needed one, but they've been given one. 2 disallowed goals. Let's not forget the Berisha one in the first half. For that other ridiculous interpretation enforced upon the game by IFAB.
Hamill herring after that one. Robbie Cornthwaite, bit happening to your right.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, I honestly feel sorry for Mark Rudin and his team and Western United. I mean, to have that disallowed, I know there's people out there going to say, well, you know, the computer drew it up and it's offside. But
no, but Robbie,
however this game finishes tonight, it's going to leave a bit of taste in my mouth, that's for sure. And he's absolutely fuming. His team's done everything right in this second half to go and score that goal. It's exactly what we thought would happen, how they design it. And for that to be disallowed, it's just, I mean, like I say, I just feel really sorry for him.
But Robbie, this is play on.
Advantage from Beef. The feet of Strain. Halloran will hold that thought half. We'll get back to it in a moment. Here's Kiddo. Corner.
So the point is, they can't guarantee the accuracy. It's still guesswork. But then to come up with that guesswork decision and say you're half a millimetre offside is it's a completely dissonant position.
One day. Corner in, bouncing around. Hamill's there, nods it away. They'll get another chance to repeat their efforts. And Diamante is hit hard by Elsie.
I tend to agree with you, Adam. I'm not even sure if that blue line was in the right place.
In Holland, they've actually just taken matters into their own hands and made the line thick so that anything that's still on the line, like his shoulder is in line with that last line, Timoteo, and I know the line is there and they're going to say about the blurred vision and whatever, but that's not on the last bit of his shoulder.
And this is why, if you're going to have this, I'm calling for a margin for error.
Yeah.
If you can't guarantee accuracy to that degree, you have to have a margin for error. In which case, if any sensible administration comes in with margin for error, that goal stands as it should, because that was never meant to be offside when the forefathers came up with the idea.
The Dutch have turned the red and the blue into a purple line and made them as one. And in that instance, that wouldn't be offside. But anyway, VAR is here to stay, we understand, because the clubs run the league and the clubs want it. So
yeah,
oddly
it can
enough,
get better.
It can be.
It can get better.
But it's, if you're sitting there watching the game and you're wondering when they're going to get rid of the VAR, I can't see it happening anytime soon, given that the APL have put their hand for it. Anyway, we'll go back to football here. Oh, it's been somewhat disrupted by what we've just seen. 10 minutes to go, thereabouts, here at Cooper's Stadium, 0-0. Western United still get a big point if they hang on to this. Diamante battling to get away from everyone. That touch from Lockie Wales skipping over the ball works out okay on Connor Payne.
Honestly,
was that ball and then, man, it's a yellow card for Mohamed Toure and a big chance of a dead ball situation here for Western United.
Well, I'd be interested at the start of this attack with the exchange between Diamante and I think it was Elsie. And that's a tackle from behind. So I know he won the ball, but it's come from behind. So that's clear yellow card territory.
I think it was.
It was one day, was it? Thank you, yeah. I couldn't quite recall who, but the ref was looking at that, but he went to blow his whistle, Chris Beath, but then he never played advantage. He never waved advantage. So, therefore, he didn't see a foul by the Adelaide player. But what did Diamante do in the exchange? Was that what he was going to blow the whistle for and then decided, whoops, I better not? And there's Diamante just breaking bread with one day. That's a fascinating little micro moment itself, which is indicative of the tension that's been generated here at Coopers. 0-0, Adelaide with a player's advantage since the 30, sometime from about half-time. Here's the chat about straying arms, perhaps. Well, very conciliatory from referee Beath.
I'm telling you, if Joe Gauci doesn't get this ball set up properly, that's not enough still. I'm still not convinced that's enough from Jordan Elsey, because Diamante can whip a ball like you wouldn't believe. Do not put it past the Italian to send it past the right shoulder of Jordan Elsey here. Diamante can't quite get his geometry right. He'll get another crack at the cross. It's a brilliant one, and Calver, free header, edge of 6-yard box, goal kick.
He has had such a good game tonight too, Aaron Calver. That would have capped it. That's a horrible, horrible miss. What a beautiful delivery from Alessandro Diamante again. And what a moment for Western United. And another reprieve for Adelaide, the third of the evening. 2 disallowed goals. And a dead set sitter missed by Aaron Calver then.
Al-Hassan Toure. Little brother, not so little, Mohammed, calling for the ball underneath him there. He goes back to Strain instead. Durante for the 470th time this game, getting in the way. Remarkable defensive performance, elite defensive performance from the 38-year-old this evening. Mohamed Toure, beautiful turn on Connor Payne, but he came again, Connor, and did well. Gives away a corner.
Yeah, it was a beautiful turn. Outstanding work. But again, the Western United defence regrouped superbly.
One day. The corner. Head on it from Mork. With a shoulder. Nothing. Here's this chance again, Harps. Complete switch off from Adelaide United.
Look at this delivery from Diamante, though. Couldn't be any more perfect. He can hit the ball well too, Aaron Calver. He's a fine player. Doesn't really deserve the embarrassment of that miss. Strong, probably too strong a word, but you get the point.
Yeah. Peace gives the free kick in direction of Adelaide, and they play it quickly, and it's out to Kiddo. Halloran on the left. Cutting in on his favoured right. Ball's not up to standard. Diamante, that's asking too much. His ageing legs. One day, Hassan Toure, we know he's very good at rolling players like that, but we know that Tomoki Imbai is brilliant at stopping plays like that. He can't believe that it's not a throw-in. There's tension everywhere you look at the moment here at Cooper Stadium. A couple of minutes left of normal time, and a few extra as well. Mohamed Toure, inventive. Hamill gets there, looks back at Stephen Mork and says, "Get up, pal. Get up."
Well, you see, referee Chris Beath, I believe, could have stepped in, and if he believes there was simulation, could have awarded a yellow card. Instead of the simmering tension now to find this oxygen, which there's a degree of inevitability about it because of the way the game has gone.
See, Western United are playing this perfectly. They know that Al Hassan Toure has lost his mind a little bit here. They know that before it, Mohamed Toure and also Cassini Yengi and a few others from Adelaide United are losing their rag. So they just continued the grabbing of shirts and, oh, you get off me, you get off me, and then the next one, you get off me, and it takes more time.
And look, I think, you know, with the greatest of respect, it was pretty obvious that Stefan Moore was trying to milk something there. And the yellow card is too late. It should have gone to the active simulation, would have got rid of that whole situation. Now, look at this.
Oh, let's look for it. Big style. Robbie Cornthwaite, what'd you make of all of that?
Yeah, I think the Western United player's looking for to get an Adelaide player sent off there. I think Al Hassan Toure went in for bat for his brother, but you can see Stefan Mork, he was very sheepish about that situation. It's not the first time this season.
When is it going to be the last, though, do you think?
When the referees decide to do something about it. Harp said if he'd just gone to the book and if the referee thought that was a dive and booked him, then that would have maybe diffused the whole situation, because, you know, when a player does dive and gets a yellow card, quite often players will still get in their face, and Brendan Hamilton wasn't having much of that.
Al Hassan Toure to Halloran. Ben Halloran down low. Scott, he's been on his game tonight, and he's had to be.
He dropped sharp then, needed to. Firing in on the near post.
He's good when he gets down low quickly, Scott. It's a real strength of his.
And needed to, because that was a good hit. It was comfortable. It was a difficult position for the keeper, though. Whew.
Yeah.
Friday nights in Adelaide. If the players aren't dishing it up, the match officials are giving us plenty to talk about.
Well, unfairly, they used to say there was something in the water in Adelaide. But in a different context, it's definitely something in the water at Cooper Stadium on a Friday night, because weird things happen. There's been 9 yellow cards. Another substitution coming. Ivan Vujicic hasn't got much of a crack at it. He had a great moment earlier in the season where he scored a goal and ran to the bench and everyone got involved. Connor Payne, who again has just run himself to the brink of exhaustion.
Don't stop the time, keep it running. Make sure you keep it running. That's what they've been playing for. They've done a great job. And hopefully, down the track, that beautiful work from Diamante and Dylan Farias will be rewarded with the goal that it should have been, when the bureaucrats in the bubble, otherwise known as IFAB, take a reality check and stop stealing this game away from the fans for their own glory. Bureaucratic aggrandizement.
More in that in the post-game, Harps. Dylan Farias. Oh, forward run, Lockie Wales, chance, penalty, surely. No, ball one. Looked like Strain got his leg around it and took out Wales with the ball. My initial reaction was penalty, because Chris Beath was pointing to the penalty spot, but he was pointing to the ball. Yengi slips over, but Mohamed Toure with a chance. Andrew Durante, incredible defending. Absolutely extraordinary.
Unbelievable.
That's a second yellow. Mohamed Toure has seen red.
Gets the ball.
Gets the ball. VAR checking that. It'll be waved all clear. Mohamed Toure has been sent off for a second yellow card. He's gone over the ball, but surely he's playing at the ball.
Well,
he's judged to be dangerous.
Just have a look again. His hands go straight to his head as soon as he's made that contact. I think he knows his goose is cooked at the moment. But if Stefan Mork had picked up the ticket for simulation, which would have dealt with before it happened, that little blow up, which involved Mohamed, that would have meant he didn't get the yellow card. Anyway, on we go. It's been one of those nights. Is it still a full moon?
Has to be. Has to be.
I don't think there can be any complaints on the awarding of that particular yellow card. He was late, and he knew immediately.
Chris Beath's yellow card needs to be the size of an A3 piece of paper, given all that he's dished out tonight and written down the names of. Strain. After all of this, 180 minutes between these two. We still haven't had a goal this season between these two. Yengi, he come up with something late on. Might be a little extra on the +5 as well. So there's time here for Adelaide. Hiscock, who's been superb tonight. Diamante brings it down. I'm just used to calling Durant his name in this one. Al Hassan Toure can't find a teammate. Elsie, quick throw in. We're past the minimum 5. We go on. One day. One last crack at it here for Adelaide United. The sun's a bit up in the second half. They haven't been able to get in sync with each other really well. Chance for Mork. Defenders come out and block him. Hamill would have enjoyed that. George Timotheu to the netting, stopping the ball going into the Vidmar end. And you'd imagine that Ryan Scott won't be in much of a rush to take this goal kick.
And really, you look at Adelaide's man advantage, it's taken them until the very last moments of the half to actually get some shots on goal. Stephen Mork had that burst through midfield where he missed, and that was a gilt-edged chance, but they haven't really taken any shots from distance. Halloran a few minutes ago at the near post, and now Timotheo. You get to the end of these games and you think, geez, we probably should have started peppering the goal a lot earlier than we did.
If anyone tells you that football, when it's 0-0, is uneventful, hasn't seen a game like this. That's how it ends, scoreline-wise, at Cooper Stadium. But so much drama, and the two coaches who were combatants as players in the early days of the A-League, I reckon they're in agreement that that game got a little out of hand for no particular reason. And Chris Beath is explaining himself to the players. He walks off with a full book in terms of names written down on the back of his cards. And we walk away from this one with a point each. Full time at Coopers. Adelaide United 0, Western United 0. That was not boring.
Far from. Far from. And now people can have a cup of tea and settle down. But it's 2 points blown by Adelaide, you'd suggest. And Western United, for their part, thought they had a beautifully crafted, cunning counter-attack goal to seal them the points. And not to be.
Yeah, so Western United, this is the first stage, and look at the passion from Alessandro Diamante about what he's just experienced, and Carl Viet can only nod in approval about what he's just experienced. Yeah, but Western United, they go to Brisbane now, down to Sydney to take on Western Sydney Wanderers, across to Perth to take on Perth Glory on this so-called Kentucky tour that Mark Redan says they're on. They'll be happy with the point. It's actually put them up a spot above Macarthur Bulls into 5th position. Adelaide United go up a spot as well over Central Coast Mariners on goals scored. Let's start the reaction. There'll be plenty of it. Robbie Cornthwaite, over to you.
Steph, I suppose first and foremost, were they too good or were you just not good enough tonight?
We were pretty average. I think it's probably our worst performance in the last 6 or 7. So I guess we were fortunate that they went down to a red card and we didn't capitalise on it. So it's pretty disappointing because we've been on a good run and playing really well, and tonight we didn't do that.
Why weren't you able to capitalise on it?
I think they defended well, but we didn't really move the ball quick enough. I think at the end, the last 5 minutes when we started getting the balls in, we probably should have done that 10 minutes earlier because it caused a lot of chaos, and passing it around the back wasn't really doing much.
I've got to ask you, that incident